Hey guys, sorry it's been more than a couple days. I was going to try to do this like every other day, but some things came up. Me and my wife actually own a photography business, and we had a wedding to do, and I had some doctor's appointments for the old knee. So sorry, this is about a week after my first video. And today I am actually going to talk about where we left off last time, about finding a doctor. And this to me was like the biggest thing ever, because obviously, like I said, I think there are a couple ways people go when they tear their ACL. Either, they tear their ACL or they injure their knee for that matter, and they go, okay, well, I'm just gonna have a bum knee the rest of my life. I'll work around it. I don't really feel like having extensive surgery, doing rehab. I can still kind of walk. I can do this. Then there's the other people like myself who, I want my knee to be even better than it was before. I want the most intensive rehab program that I can find. I want the best surgeon, doctor, everything. The disadvantage for me is I live in New Hampshire, so it's kind of a smaller area as opposed to, say, if I lived in Cleveland or Chicago or New York, something like that, where you have a lot to pick from. So my first major concern was just finding someone that I felt comfortable with, that I knew was going to take care of me. I knew that had the skill to kind of do what I was looking for, and that was to reconstruct my ACL, not have problems, not have it tear, 2 years later. And I know nobody can really, guarantee that, but I wanted a very good surgeon. So I did what most people do. I went online, Googled. I also had, and I think this probably goes for a lot of people when you have a problem like this, if you have a lot of friends or family, they tend to kind of know someone. I had a couple friends who had knee issues that I know of here in New Hampshire, and they immediately pointed me towards somebody. So that may happen to you as well. A lot of people might start recommending a certain guy, or I had this, or I knew I had a friend, which is fine because that gives you somewhere to start. But like I use the internet a lot. So my situation, what happened is where I went to the emergency room at, they initially referred me to a place, and I had heard about this place before. It was pretty decent, probably one of the bigger places in the area. And then I got a couple emails from a couple people that actually were in the medical field, who directed me towards a certain person, and he happened to be at this place for the emergency room. So it was kind of all falling into place. But again, I went on Google, I Googled this doctor's name, plus sucks. I Googled his name, plus, knee failure. I mean, I basically, did everything that I think you could possibly do. Nothing kind of came up. And then they have a couple like health grade sites, but they don't really tell you anything because you have to sign up and do all this other stuff. So I don't know how reliable that is. But I found no major issues with this particular guy. So I made the appointment. And the one thing that was kind of weird, and this may not be weird to anybody else, but I was able to get in right away. And that was kind of a red flag for me, because I'm like, okay, if this guy's so great, why am I able to get in? But having talked to a couple people, and this may help you out there, is I guess that even if it's like the top person, in the field, they always hold open slots open for new people like myself, no matter what. So don't be kind of discouraged if you can get in right away and you think like I did, like what's wrong with this person? Nobody wants to see him. But that's how it was. Now this guy that I went to see, he's the team doctor for a couple of minor league baseball teams. He worked with the U.S. ski team a little bit, so I knew the guy had been around, and seen his share. And I don't want to come off like elitist whatsoever, like I need the best guy. No, I just want, this is like a major thing in my life. And I want to be sure that I'm doing and seeing the right people, because I read a lot of horror stories online about people, getting the ACL surgery and then wishing they did more research, and then they found the right guy after their second one. So I kind of want to do it right the first time. So my initial appointment was the beginning of August, which I think is, or no, end of July, which I think is about 3 weeks ago, around when I hurt my knee. And I went in, I saw him. He was very like doctor-y. Sometimes you can just tell doctors. You know, they kind of exude this, I'm smarter than you, but not in an egotistical way. You just know that you just know when somebody's a doctor. They just automatically know more than you do. He felt my knee, and instantly he's like, you know, I think I was in the middle of saying something to him. He's like, you tore your ACL. So I was like, okay. He's like, you know, we'll get an MRI just in case, but you know, I'd stake my livelihood on the fact that you tore your ACL. He said, so what we'll do is we'll get an MRI, and then just to be sure, he's like, I don't want to get into an operation, and then you didn't tear your ACL, and we did this all for nothing. So I appreciated that. And the first meeting went pretty well, I'd say. I mean, I had some questions that he answered. I guess I wish he was a little bit like more forthcoming, a little bit more informative. It seemed like he was rushing a little bit. It seemed like he might have had something else to do. I don't know. But they gave me a knee brace, which I'll show you in the next video. A little story about that. But I think this is around 6 minutes. So I got to cut this off. I'm actually going to do a part 2 about finding a doctor right after this. So I will see you over there. All right, bye.